Hey y'all, I hope y'all have had a good week. I hope you're having a good Sunday night. I'm going to share with you a devotion that I had in my quiet time this week, and I think that it really applies to all of us. So, and it's talking about the fact that God doesn't want us to fake it. He doesn't want us to hide when we're not living the way we're supposed to, because he sees it anyways. And Hebrews 4:13 says, nothing in all creation is hidden from God's sight. Everything we do, everything we say, everything we think, God knows it all already. So us hiding really doesn't serve any purpose with that. So if you have ever played hide and seek with a little kid, you have probably experienced the fact that they don't choose very good hiding places. Some children will put a blanket over their head, or some children will hide their face or stand behind something that's way too skinny to actually cover them up and fully expect that they are hidden. And then, it's super funny whenever you find them, and it's so shocking that you found them in such a hard spot. And I think that's kind of how we are with God. God sees us try to hide, and I feel like he's laughing at us just like we're laughing at those children. He's like, why are you trying to do this when you know I can see you? And he knows the thoughts that we're too embarrassed to share with anyone or to mention, or things that we maybe can't figure out how to say, things that we can't figure out how to articulate to him about our uncertainties, or the prayers that we wouldn't have the courage to even whisper in prayer. He already knows those things. He sees us in those places, just like we see those little children hiding in bad hiding places. And yet we still try to hide who we really are from him. Sometimes we might put on a show for him. Sometimes we might try to make our prayers sound perfect or imitating someone else, or sometimes we might try to live this show, make our face look like we are a certain person, the activities that we participate in, but in reality our heart is in a completely different place. So hiding from God, it didn't work in the Garden of Eden for Adam and Eve, and it still doesn't work for us. He asks us just like he asks Adam and Eve, where are you? He knew where they were the whole time. He knows where we are the whole time. So God isn't afraid of our doubts. He's not put off when we put our struggles on him. We have things that worry us. We have things that bother us, and God isn't put off by that. He wants us to take that to him, even though he already knows what those needs are. He's not keeping track of the number of days when we are on our mountaintop with him and the number of days that we're in the valley. It's not like a score and we're going to get to heaven and get some participation score for all the things the days we've had that were good and days that we've had that were bad. He sympathizes with those fears that we have, and understands those issues that we have. But it's the very reason that God sent Jesus to earth. Jesus came to give us a living example of God, because since we can't see him, we got Jesus that we could see. And because he knew we would need somebody to look up to, that we would need somebody who walked in flesh that we could understand. And just like Thomas, when Thomas saw Jesus, he didn't believe it. But Jesus still showed him grace. Jesus still walked through that with him, let him touch his hands, let him touch those scars so that he would believe. He wasn't just angry at him or dismissed him for those fears. And that happens frequently in the Bible. Jesus doesn't ever, people don't ever bring their issues to Jesus, and Jesus is like, sorry, walk away. Too bad. That's too bad. He never does that. He always is graceful. And that's the same response he gives to you and to me. And, we just have to get in a place where we're real enough about those doubts that we let Jesus in, because his grace is enough for us. So there's no point in hiding. There's no reason we should be holding that in or trying to keep it from God, because he already knows. So just think about what parts of your life you might be hiding from God. Take some time this week and consider that. Think about the things that you maybe aren't putting in the front of your prayers, but that weigh on your heart. He knows them already, so we might as well put those out. Ask the questions. Jesus wants to be there for us. So I love you all. I am praying for y'all every day. I can't wait until we are back in that room, that youth room together and laughing and cutting up. So I hope you'll have a good week. I love you all. Bye-bye.